This video is going to be on how to do iced drinks, like iced coffee, which is right here, and cold brew, which is iced, and iced flavored lattes. There's a little bit of a difference between a flavored mocha and latte versus a coffee, because the mochas need to have the chocolate melted, so you use a slightly different technique. But the technique for the iced coffee and the iced flavored latte is the same. The most important thing to remember is for the iced flavored latte and the iced coffee and the frozen drinks, you never, ever, ever use hot espresso, because if you use hot espresso, then it's going to melt the ice and then you're going to have a watery drink. So what you want to do is get your cup out, and there's directions here. This is on how to do the frozen drinks, and by the time this video is posted, there's going to be one right here that looks like this on how to do the iced drinks. So you want to get the iced drinks, and there are two different coffees right here. This is, the only difference is this is unsweetened and this is sweetened. So if you're doing like a latte or a mocha, you want to use the sweetened one, and if you're doing an iced coffee or an iced Americano or an iced cold brew, you want to use this unsweetened one. The recipe for it is right here. For cold brews, 12, 16, and 20 ounce cups, 4, 5, and 6 pumps. So we're going to put 5 pumps into this 16 ounce cup. So I'm going to try and hold this. Well, I couldn't think of a way to hold it. So anyway, you just push this down while you're holding this right up here and get 5 shots in there. Once you get the 5 shots in there, come over, fill it with ice. Then if you're making an Americano or an iced coffee, you top this off with water in the sink here, cold water. And if you're making an iced latte, then you would top it off with milk. And if there's any flavoring, you would top it off, put some flavoring in right after you put the espresso in. There's no need to steam the milk. I have come up front here and seen people steaming the milk and then trying to cool it down by pouring it over ice. There's no point in heating the milk. You use cold milk right out. So you get this thing right here, which is actually a bartender's mixer. So once you have this mixed up, you can see it's not entirely mixed. So you just pour it back and forth a couple of times, and then once it's poured back and forth a couple of times, it's mixed. If it needs a little bit more water, put it on. This one doesn't. Then put a lid on it, put a straw in it, and it is ready to go. Put the straws in cold drinks. Don't send the customer over to the condiment bar for a drink. When a customer gets a drink from here, it should be ready to go. So that's how you do an iced Americano, any size, or an iced coffee, any size, or an iced cold brew. And this is actually cold brew coffee, so this is a legitimate cold brew drink. And then if you're going to do a latte, remember you use this one right here, and you just top it with milk instead of water, and then you'll have a latte. And to do mochas, I'm going to show you that right now. What you want to do for a mocha is you need to use this cup right here and put a couple of shots according to this chart right here. So 16 ounces, 2 scoops. So, and remember to use this metal scoop instead of the plastic one that comes with it, because if you try and use the plastic one, it's much bigger and the drink will be awful. And then just slide this right under here and put your double shots in, and then the espresso, the hot espresso that's going in there is going to melt that chocolate. And so then you just stir them up and get a glass full of ice, which we can do right now, and then top it off with milk and you're done. So we're going to do a 16 ounce. So you can use the scoop, or we're just going to scoop it up like that. And we're going to go down here and get our milk. We'll use 2%, which is what we use for everything. Okay, this is done. You can tell when it's done because the light stops blinking. So once it's done, you've got some espresso in there that's nice and hot. And then down at the bottom, you've got the powdered drink mix. So what you want to do is give this a really good stir until it's all mixed up. which I'm going to put the camera down for 2 seconds and give it a good. When you're stirring it, you want to be holding it up here, not down there, because you'll burn yourself if you hold it down there. So hold it up here with one hand, stir it with the, once you're done stirring it, the spoon goes back over here. This will clean the spoon for you. And then top your cup off with milk. Pour this into here and just go back and forth with it a couple of times. There's going to be a little bit left over, but that can't really be helped. We'll modify this going forward so we're not wasting that little bit, but that's not much to waste. So once you get it done, again, put a lid on the top, put the straw in, and give it to the customer, and that's all there is to it. There's a mocha. And if you want to add flavors, then the flavors would go in before the ice. So that's all there is to it. Thanks for watching. See you next video.